The words I'm about to say are hard to hear and even harder to speak because my story leaves me vulnerable and weak. And before today, the thought of sharing the fact that I was victim to such an attack made me feel like everyone else had something I lack. But I guess if I'm honest and speak matter of fact, the pain didn't start that day, but every day after that. And when right and wrong collided, the world had already decided from east to west that it was because of the way I dressed. But I was 4 years old, and I couldn't have told you silver from gold, yet still you tell me it's the woman's fault. That a man could not control his urges, that it was his right to explore my body. And as if I was a slave being told how to behave, the courts decide that no matter how violent, it is a man's entitlement. But enough about that, because everyone argues the legality, but no one seems to react or speak about the fact that it is so much more than that. And what no one will tell you, because they're praying it slips through the cracks, is that even after the deed has been done, the pain has only just begun. And so I will go back to when I was 4 and I was running and locking the bathroom door, too petrified to find a phone. And even if I had, who would I call? Because on the other side of the wall was a man who was making me question it all. Did I deserve this? Is this my fault? And why am I feeling all of these urges? Eroticism and arousal, meant to be sparked in adolescence, sparked much too soon, and in an essence left me feeling dirty and wrong and confused. This is the story of when I was sexually abused. And in the years to come, I would shrink from any kind of physical contact, anything that might cause me to overreact, because my subconscious had set my body hyper aware of anything even remotely similar to that of a sexual affair. And so I tried to keep my body hidden as best I could. With my own eyes, I would not look at my own naked body, because all I heard were the devil's lies, that my body and I were trash, that we had already been used, and it could not be excused that I had been sexually abused. And any man in his right mind would always decline me. And if anyone else knew, they would stop loving me too. A hug from behind could send me screaming in fear. I had become more skittish than a deer, and because I was incapable of articulating the assault, I continued to believe it was all my fault. So then, at the age of 8, filled with self-hate, I decided I didn't deserve to eat. A punishment I decided was fair and indisputable. It had nothing to do with being beautiful. I thought I must be abominable for a man to commit such crimes so unimaginable that a sex scene in a movie could leave my head feeling woozy, everything in me screaming that I was wrong. Do you know what it is like to have every fiber in your body feel like it in of itself is disgusting and revolting and wrong? Because I have since I was 4 years old until I was 17, and even sometimes still, a certain sight, sound, or smell can create in me a piercing shrill at the memory of a man bending my will. Sex was meant to be beautiful and sacred, but for me it became tainted and complicated, and I told my mom I wanted to be a nun. because sex was wrong and it disgusted me, and the thought of making love to a man gave me nightmares I could not stand. But still she pleaded. She said it's something everyone needed at the right time. Which made me wonder if this had happened to me at a different time when I was at least old enough to understand. Would it have been easier? But no, I know that can't be right because I see women struggle day and night, and it happened to them much later in life. So this is my plight, and it's time I brought it to light. I have kept it discreet for so long, but secrets equal shame, and I should not be ashamed of something for which I am not to blame. And it shouldn't be taboo, because I know it hasn't only happened to me, it might have happened to you. And no man can take from me what I was meant to give, and it will not hinder the way I live, because sexual abuse cannot define creatures like us who are so divinely put here on this earth. We have so much more worth than we realize, and today I realize that I can no longer be hurt by the devil's lies. Because my God is a God who heals, and by him I have been set free.